Most expensive robotic pool cleaners are selling you a spec sheet, not a clean pool. I've tested the numbers. The price gap rarely matches the performance gap. Today, we fix that. Pool cleaners are a minefield. Spend $400 and you might get the same result as the $189 option. Spend $900 and you might get less. Today, we're cutting through that. I tested these robots on actual pool coverage, suction performance, filtration, and waterline cleaning. Because those are the things that determine whether your pool is actually clean. Not the box art, not the bullet points, the data. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which cleaner earns its price, which ones are quietly overrated, and the one I'd put my own money on. Let's get into it. At $699, the Dolphin Nautilus CC leads with two big claims: wall climbing and active brush scrubbing. Sounds like the full package, but here's what you need to stress test before spending $700. Wall climbing is only useful if the robot actually finishes the job. Coverage matters more than the fact that it climbs at all. The 2-hour runtime is real, and the top-load filter basket is genuinely convenient. Over 10,000 reviews and a 4.1 rating suggest it's not a disaster. That's a meaningful sample size. But 4.1 on a $699 cleaner? That's not a standing ovation. For pools up to 33 feet, it should be more than adequate on paper. The plug-and-play setup is legitimate. Drop it in, walk away. Where it starts to wobble is value. At this price, you're buying Dolphin's 40-plus year legacy as much as you're buying hardware. And legacy doesn't scrub your waterline. It lands at number 5 for a reason. The bones are solid. The price-to-performance gap just gets harder to ignore when you see what's coming next. So, what costs $850 and comes loaded with phrases like AI vision and cognitive Navium mode? The Aiper Scuba V3 AI. And look, when a product's marketing reads like a Silicon Valley pitch deck, my default reaction is skepticism. Hard skepticism. Here's what the spec sheet actually says. A front-facing camera that claims to detect over 20 debris types, autonomous weekly scheduling based on weather and pool history, wireless charging dock, and a self-parking waterline retrieval so you never reach into the water to grab it. That last one is genuinely useful. With 197 reviews averaging 4.4 stars, buyers aren't hating it. But here's the uncomfortable math. That wireless dock and app scheduling represent roughly a $680 premium over budget alternatives in this roundup. $680 for smart parking and a camera. If the AI navigation actually cuts cleaning time meaningfully, maybe that math works. If it doesn't, you just paid luxury SUV money for a pool toy. Without independent test data confirming those claims hold up at scale, the V3 AI lands at 4. Impressive on paper, unproven under pressure. So that brings us to number 3, the Iper Scuba S 2026 upgrade at $799.99. The headline claim: 270 minutes of runtime and 11 high-precision sensors for smarter navigation. Sounds like a lot, but runtime alone is a meaningless number if the robot spends half of it bumping walls and backtracking. That's the real question here. What those 11 sensors actually do is run dual-path adaptive navigation, analyzing your pool layout in real time, adjusting on the fly. Systematic coverage with minimal overlap, not just random wandering. The 270 minutes kicks in through eco mode via the app. Daily maintenance passes where you want coverage without burning through battery on a full deep clean. Flip to auto or wall mode and you're down to 180 minutes, but you're getting over the waterline scrubbing and dual layer filtration down to 3 microns. That catches fine dust and sand, not just leaves. At 4.3 stars across 759 reviews, buyers are consistently satisfied. The app control, OTA updates, 5 cleaning modes. Genuinely useful, not just spec padding. Skip it if you don't want to manage an app. But if you do, solid value at this tier. The question is whether our top 2 justify paying more. At $429.98, The WYBO TC1 makes a serious claim. 4-in-1 cleaning, 152 minutes of runtime, up to 1,615 square feet. On paper, that's a lot of pool covered for under $430. But here's where I pump the brakes. That 4-in-1 pitch, floor, walls, waterline, scrubbing, sounds comprehensive. And the gyroscope navigation with N-path and S-path patterns is a real spec, not marketing fluff. The 3,038 gallons per hour suction is legitimately strong. So the hardware story checks out. What doesn't fully check out is the confidence I'd normally want before putting this at number 2. With 712 reviews at 4.2 stars, it's not unproven. But verified real-world coverage data is thinner than I'd like. The app control and OTA firmware updates are genuinely useful if you want scheduled cleaning without babysitting it. If you don't care about app features, you're paying for them anyway. It's a capable machine at a fair price. But between this and our number 1 pick, the gap matters. Here's why. Here's the one that actually surprised me. The Zayrich Cordless Robotic Pool Cleaner. $169, floor, wall, and waterline coverage. 150 minutes of runtime on a single charge, for a pool up to 2,000 square feet. At that price, I expected it to underperform on at least 2 of those promises. It doesn't. That runtime number is real. 150 minutes means it finishes a full cleaning cycle without you hovering nearby waiting for it to quit early. The N-shaped navigation path, backed by over 20 onboard sensors, means it isn't just bouncing around randomly. It's covering ground systematically. The 180-watt brushless motor paired with a 300-micron filter pulls fine debris, not just leaves. And the four-wheel drive handles tile, mosaic, PVC, whatever your pool surface is. Now it has 211 reviews at a 4 out of 5 rating. That's not a landslide. Some buyers hit inconsistencies. It's not a Dolphin. But at $169 delivering floor-to-waterline coverage with genuine runtime? The dollar per cleaned square foot math is embarrassing for anything above $400. This is the number 1 pick for a reason, so let's actually say it plainly. Runtime without coverage is a marketing number. App control without better cleaning is a $200 upsell on convenience you didn't ask for. The mid-range cluster, everything sitting between $250 and $400, is where bloat lives. You're paying for features the pool doesn't feel. The budget picks either earn their price or they don't. The premium picks justify the gap with measurable coverage gains or they don't. Most didn't. One did. At $169, the top pick isn't a compromise. It's the answer. Everything above it needs to beat it on real-world floor-to-waterline performance. Check the description. The links are there. So here's the tier list. Small pools, tight budget. The entry-level pick does the job. Mid-size pool, more coverage demand. Step up 1 tier. Large pool, floor-to-waterline in 1 pass. The $169 winner. That's it. The premium models charged more and delivered less where it counted. Better specs on the box didn't survive contact with an actual pool. You spotted that. That's the advantage. Spend it wisely. Links are in the description. Current prices, no fluff. Subscribe if you want more of this. And remember, the most expensive option lost today. Price is not performance. It never was.